Good evening and thanks for being a part of today's edition of Prime News. We're broadcasting live from our headquarters here in Cameroon's economic capital, Douala. My name is Von Quinta. The news starts now. Rebecca Enonchong, entrepreneur third, has finally been released after all charges against her dropped. She was arrested on Tuesday in Douala and detained at the Bonanjo Gendarmerie Legion for contempt of court. The third guru, who spent 72 hours in custody, tweeted few hours after her release, "I'm free, all charges dropped. We can retire the hashtag Free Rebecca. I'm so immensely grateful to all of you for believing in me and supporting me." In a related story, the arrest and detention of Rebecca Enonchong saw widespread condemnation, with many calling for her release. Joy Ngong in the following report compiled reactions from diplomats and national political activists who called for her release.
Does the Cameroonian government have no shame? This question is from the desk of Tibor Nagy, former Assistant Secretary of State for African Affairs of the United States. While condemning the arrest and detention of tech entrepreneur Rebecca Enonchong in a tweet on Thursday morning, Tibor Nagy added that the BR regime is worse than the Putin regime in Russia. Tibor Nagy, who has always had troubles agreeing with the BR regime, equally called for major changes in Yaoundé. This tweet came shortly after that of French ambassador to Cameroon. In his tweet during the early hours of Thursday, August 12, Christophe Guilou posted the hashtag Free Rebecca accompanied by her photo. The Canadian High Commissioner followed suit, most likely pledging his support to the detained tech entrepreneur. Meanwhile, more condemnations have been manifested by the European Union ambassador to Cameroon. Philippe Van Damme denounces the structural non-respect of the habeas corpus principle of the Constitution in the early hours of today. Cameroon Member of Parliament Honorable Joseph Wiba, on his part, defines the arrestation as tyranny and calls for the unconditional release of the daughter of Southern Cameroons. As more political figures pledge in their support for the entrepreneur, other Cameroonians have taken up the hashtag Free Rebecca on social media. Rebecca Enonchong has been in detention at the Littoral Gendarmerie Legion since August 10, 2021 for court contempt. According to judicial sources, she faces a sentence of up to 3 years in prison and a fine of 2 million francs CFA.
A 3-day information and orientation workshop on design, production and dissemination of audiovisual micro-programs, and that today in Cameroon's economic capital, Douala. The workshop, organized by the UNESCO Regional Office for Central Africa, aims at promoting youth participation and social inclusion. Details with Dolingante.
This is the end of a 3-day workshop organized by the UNESCO Regional Office for Central Africa and the National Commission for the Promotion of Bilingualism and Multiculturalism under the theme, The Consolidation of Peace and Living Together Through the Power of the Media. Amugu Aristide Agbo is the project coordinator for the Peace Building Fund at the UNESCO Regional Office for Central Africa, who now gives the backdrop behind the organization of this conference.
Cameroon has been facing a number of crises, like many countries in the world. Crisis of social cohesion, crisis of people living together in peace, and the media men have a key role to play because the media is a key tool for outreach. So we've decided to work with media professionals on the production of key contents, video and audio, which can help educate young persons on peace building, peaceful coexistence, bilingualism and multiculturalism.
With the aim of promoting youth participation, media personalities from a wide range of the landscape have been brainstorming together with the organizers of the event on how to use their various platforms to give young people and women who are the most affected in times of crisis the opportunity to be true actors in the social and political life of their societies. Yvette Yonga Kefgang is the chief of radio productions at the CRTV Littoral.
As chief of radio production in CRTV Douala, we will emphasize to bring up some production radio and TV with youth and women, because you know, women is the mother of the humanity.
On his part, Danjie Joseph, concept designer and TV director, terms his participation during this workshop an opportunity to brainstorm with folks for the good of many.
The purpose is to come out with programs that will help end this stigmatizing hate speech that we have in our country. So my participation in this workshop was really an opportunity for me.
After today, it is expected that there will be a joint and thorough review of approaches to handling information on conflicts in order to ensure sustainable peace.
Now the bodies of a man and his pregnant wife have been retrieved following floods at Crise in Cameroon's economic capital, Douala. The 44-year-old man and his wife died after a landslide destroyed their house. Student journalist on internship Susan Bate with details.
Ceaseless rainfall that hit the economic capital of the country, Douala, resulted to difficulties in the transportation of persons to different destinations in neighborhoods like Makepe Musoke, Sable and Pekatres, since water had covered the roads. It equally left Pekatres neighborhood in a pathetic situation as a man and his pregnant wife were reported to have died as a result of the heavy downpour that occurred August 12, 2021. According to reports, the said 44-year-old, whose name we got as George, and his pregnant wife Mofo Victoire died after a landslide that destroyed their home during flood caused by continuous rainfall, which started at about 3 a.m. on Wednesday, August 11, until Thursday morning, August 12, 2021. Sources say some neighbors and persons of goodwill managed to retrieve the dead bodies of the man and wife from the rubble and now deposited in the mortuary awaiting burial. Meanwhile, administrative authorities have visited the site of the scene to assess the situation. Worth noting is the fact that flood in the city of Douala from time past has been a threat to livelihood, especially during the March to October rainy season. Equally, it is important to note that the citizens of Douala had been warned and informed by weather forecast of heavy rains and flood from August 10. But as usual, many failed to take precautions and ended up being victims to the outcome of the flood and ceaseless rainfall.
Still ahead, at least 48 people have been seriously injured and 12 reportedly lost their lives in a violent clash between Shua Arabs and Muslims, two communities in Logon and Shara division in the far north region of Cameroon. The dispute erupted over water source between cattle rearers and fishermen. Details in the following report. Violent scuffles between Shua Arabs and Muslims, two communities in the Logon and Shara division, left at least 12 people dead, while 48 others sustained severe injuries with several houses destroyed.
The Logon and Shara division, we have a dispute between two communities, Muslim on one side and Arab Shua on another side. Muslim fishermen and Arab Shua cattle breeder. And right now we have 12 persons die, 48 injured, and they are in the hospital. That's Kusiri and Jamena, and some houses burnt, food item and cattle. According to the governor of the Far North region, Mijiyawa Bakari, the dispute that led to deaths and injuries erupted over a water source between cattle rearers and fishermen, which later turned deadly. Sources in the region say the clashes began on Monday, August 9, and continued until Thursday, with some indigents said to have used arrows, others machetes, and things worsened when Shua Arabs took up firearms.
Following the sad incident, Governor Mijiawa Bakari has called on local, administrative and security officials to step up sensitization of the population in a bid to restore peace.
The hierarchy to go in the field to talk about peace to those population. We have traditional rulers, elite in the fandom in general, to sit around the table to sensitize those population, to let down their weapon, to work hand in hand as in the family, according to the word of the head of state. Right now, the situation is under control. We have been instructed by head of state to redynamize vigilant committee to work alongside our forces of law and defense. Unfortunately, we are facing also this community dispute.
Calm now reigns in that community after 4 days of violent clashes that left at least 12 people dead and 48 others in hospital. Now today is commemorated worldwide as Left-Handers Day. They set aside to celebrate the uniqueness of lefties. Considering that left-handers persons' life is full of obstacles, student journalist on internship Nuben Naivuna visited the streets to find out the challenges they face in society. Her report.
In a society dominated by right-handers, the need to promote awareness on the uniqueness and peculiarity of left-handers is important. Celebrated every August 13 around the world, the International Left-Handers Day, founded by Dean Cabell in 1976, is intended to project the challenges faced by left-handers in the predominantly right-handed world. According to this parent, coping with his left-handed son is quite challenging.
Coping with him and his bookwork is not always easy. You know, in school, complaints coming from his teachers that he is struggling to write with both hands. When he sees his peers writing with the right hand, he wants to write with the right hand, wants to write with the left hand, and at the end of the day, he can't write well, he can't write properly. And also, there's this issue of extending greetings to another person, you know, or greeting you. So he'll be sending his left hand to greet or to receive maybe a gift from somebody outside, and you know, it's embarrassing that a child will be sending his left hand to greet someone or taking a gift or a present from somebody. So you need to always remind him to use his left hand.
As opposed to the societal belief of negativity associated to left-handedness, lefties possess numerous advantages.
They have a lot of energy in them. There was this time my son gave me a blow with his left hand and I felt a very bad pain on my jaw, you know, so I think that they have more energy, they are more energized, they have this strength inborn in them.
Going by the name, left-handers use their left hands to carry out daily activities, be it writing, eating or sweeping. These left-handers are normal like every right-hander and should be regarded as such. On World Left-Handers Day, individuals are called upon to celebrate the difference and distinctiveness of left-handers, who make up 7 to 10% of the world's current population, according to statistics.
On our health page, Bokengo Wadi focused on World Organ Donation Day commemorated every August 13. The day aims at raising awareness on the need to donate organs and make the people understand the importance of organ donation. Details with Bokengo Wadi.
The human body consists of about 75 organs, with the brain, heart, lungs, liver, and kidney being the 5 most vital organs. Every now and then, someone is in need of a vital organ transplant. Across the globe, a person is added to the transplant waiting list every 9 minutes, while about 17 persons die every day waiting for an organ transplant, and an estimated total of 2.5 million men, women, as well as children remain on a constant pending recycling wait list, hoping to get a donor and a perfect match for a transplant. However, though the waiting list for organ transplants rocks in millions, the estimated amount of organ transplants made as of April 2020 is less than 50. According to statistics from Health Resources and Services Administration on organ donation, every organ donor can save 8 lives and enhance the lives of more than 75 others. With vital organs like the liver and kidney topping the transplant wait list and kidney leading the course, it is important to note that one organ and tissue donor, according to the World Health Organization, can help transform the lives of more than 10 people and give hope to million others. On World Organ Donor Day, health specialists, caregivers, organizations, and many more encourage each and all to pledge to spread awareness and encourage organ donation for the estimated 2.5 million persons on organ transplant wait list worldwide.
And in what's making news on the African continent and the world at large, our reporter Arlene Sima visited Algeria, Libya and Indonesia and put together the following report.
An Algerian journalist has been sentenced to 8 months in prison for reporting on protests in the country. Rabah Kareshi was slammed a 1-year term with 4 months suspension. Already, Rabah has spent a couple of months in jail since his arrest in April and now has 4 months left to serve. His arrest followed him reporting that a majority group had demonstrated over economic and social marginalization. The journalist was charged with spreading false information liable to damage public order. It is worth mentioning that his arrest and detention caused journalists in Algeria to protest, further escalating the violence after President Abdelmadjid Tebboune described him as an arsonist. Reacting to his jailing, Amnesty International said his detention was a blow to press freedom in the country. An arrest warrant for Saif al-Islam Gaddafi, the son of the Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi, has been issued by prosecutors in Libya over suspected ties to Russian mercenaries. Following an investigation carried out by the BBC World Service, links between the shadowy Wagner Group's activities in Libya and war crimes committed against Libyan citizens were brought to light. Russian fighters first appeared in Libya in 2019 when they joined the forces of a rebel General Khalifa Haftar in attacking the UN-backed government in the capital Tripoli, with the conflict ending in a ceasefire in October 2020. For the record, the Wagner Group was first identified in 2014 when it was backing pro-Russian separatists in the conflict in eastern Ukraine, and since then has been involved in regions including Syria, Mozambique, the Central African Republic, and Sudan. The authorities in Indonesia have expressed regret over the poor treatment of a Nigerian diplomat. Indonesian Foreign Ministry on Thursday apologized for what it called a misunderstanding with the Nigerian diplomat and announced it had launched a formal investigation of the incident. Indonesian Foreign Ministry told the press that there had been a series of meetings with Nigerian officials since the incident, including discussions with the ambassador in Jakarta on Wednesday. Reports say the diplomat was uncooperative and refused to turn over his documents when confronted in the lobby of an apartment building, so was taken into custody according to Ibnu Chuldan, the immigration official in Jakarta. The diplomatic moves from Nigeria that followed suggest that the matter was not entirely resolved. Earlier this week, Nigeria recalled its ambassador to Indonesia and summoned Indonesia's envoy to Abuja for talks after a leaked video of the Saturday incident went viral on social media and prompted an outrage. The video shows 3 Indonesian immigration officials pinning the diplomat, whose name has not been revealed, into the backseat of a moving vehicle, one holding his arm and another pushing on his head as he screamed, and I quote, "I can't breathe," and my neck, my neck.
Eileen Summers' report concludes today's edition of Prime News, compiled for us by Faith Tata. The news was produced by Ewane Nolinga Ella. My name is Fon Quinta. Coming up next is Prime Hour with Gumluna. Stay with us. Have a blessed weekend and good night.